That we have for our visit. So, wow, this is a product that I don't know about you, but I'm certainly taking and would not be without, particularly this time of year. Another customer pick with 4.8 stars, 96% of those perfect 4- and 5-star reviews. It is the Immune Factors.
There's not much I can say. The name says it all. Immune Factors, and the reviews then say it all. To think that an immune product, and I think if someone orders an immune product, they're going to be a pretty stringent or a pretty tough critic, I think. They're going to be pretty demanding, Immune Factors, and again, it's not a drug, not a medicine, not a treatment or for disease or prevention of disease or anything like that. What this product is designed to do, it's designed to support and enhance and promote the best functioning of the only barrier we have to all of those things, which is our immune system. And you will not find a more comprehensive product. And what was it, 4.8 stars?
4.8 stars.
And so it's close to, it's got to be 90-some-odd%.
91.
91% 5-star reviews.
Perfect 5-star reviews.
91%
and 96 of 4 and 5.
96% 4- and 5-star reviews. So again, as I say, the reviews speak more loudly and more clearly than I ever could. It's amazing that a product like this can be unanimous, but it delivers. It delivers in terms of providing all of the nutritional support, but in a way that no one else does. It provides the vitamin C, but in a way that's absorbable and won't upset your stomach. It provides a full B-complex, like really a stress B-complex supplement, and it provides our special protected B12, because if you don't protect B12, it can't be absorbed. Sadly, most providers of supplements could care less about the science that B12 can't be absorbed orally if it isn't protected. They deliver it in a form that will be destroyed. So our B12 is protected. That's why we hear so often from so many individuals that when taking our B12, they were actually able to eliminate B12 injections. Only do that working closely with your doctor, but it's something that B12 can be delivered if carefully delivered. And then in addition, we then go to the botanical world, the plant-based world, and we give you the echinacea and golden seal in their best forms, at their perfect balance, at their perfect standardization. We then give you our mushroom complex. Again, our mushroom complex is something that's from and then we also give you, I was going to say, astragalus. So those are all the ingredients in the products. Those are all the botanicals that thus far have shown the benefits in terms of supporting your immune system. And this time of year, we face a lot of challenges. Every time, say, during this time of year, I'm coming to HSN, of course, I don't want to be standing up here and not be feeling well, so I make sure this time of year I get plenty of sleep, I eat the best I can, I drink plenty of green tea, so I'm amply hydrated. I make sure that I keep my vitamin D levels at their appropriate levels, because vitamin D is critical for immune support as well. Most people don't realize that vitamin D is absolutely critical for the functioning of our immune system, and of course, the Immune Factors. The Immune Factors is that product that, and again, there's so many companies that will take products that aren't even close to the quality and efficacy of this product, and they position them as literally as drugs. No supplement is a drug. I think it's an insult to a supplement to call it a drug. I think to look at this product in terms of it delivering the nutritional components and the plant-based components that support your immune system, and our immune system, that's really the keys to the kingdom. That's what we really want to support, and that's what this product is designed to do. And it's evolved over the past 20-plus years, and it's at its highest point of evolution right now with the levels of vitamin C, B-complex, protected B12, and, of course, the echinacea, golden seal, standardized at the properly balanced levels, in addition to the mushroom complex, higher levels of the mushroom complex, and astragalus as well.
Yeah, fabulous value. You really have to see the savings on this. And, you know, as Andrew had mentioned, particularly this time of year, look at what we're giving you. So with the 30 capsules, you're saving $4. The $68, $180, you're saving $20. You are saving $36 today on the 360. That is a crazy savings. And I also think what's amazing about this is that if maybe you're watching the show for the first time, welcome to HSN. Maybe you've never shopped for any of Andrew's supplements before. In particular, this time of year, this is a great way to introduce yourself to the difference that these products can make. And always go to hsn.com and read the reviews as well. But again, remember, 100% natural, additive-free, guaranteed, gentle, even if you happen to have a very, very sensitive stomach. I will say just for myself, because I do the same thing as Andrew, try to get the sleep I can, try to watch what I eat. But everyone around me over the holidays was really challenged, and I will tell you, knock on wood,
no, Thank you. I say that every time of year, this time of year. I think when I work out, I wear gloves. It's good that I wear gloves, that I do that, because when you're, lifting heavy weights and things like that. But I wear gloves that are full finger gloves. And again, we all know when you're touching lots of things that that's an opportunity for us to take viruses and things and to transfer them to membranes in our body that we could end up with a cold or with the flu or things where we transfer them. And again, this product is not, it's not designed to do anything other than to support your immune system. And as I said before, it's really unfair when vitamins or supplements or botanicals are positioned as cures, treatments, preventions for colds and flu. It doesn't work that way. The cure, treatment, prevention for any of those things, that lies in the hands of our immune system. And when it comes to nutritional supplements, all we can do as a human being is do everything in our power to support our immune system. For me, sort of the magic thing for me is making sure that I get enough sleep. The moment I don't get enough sleep, that's what challenges my immune system. That's what kind of opens the door, that little bit of a crack. So I make sure this time of year, especially leading up to my shows, I get plenty of sleep. Make sure I get good, healthy exercise. I make sure that I try to deal with stress well. I eat healthy. I make sure that I'm well hydrated. And then I take my immune factors. I take my CoQ10, I take my immune factors. And my immune factors, as I said before, this was, funnily enough, if you go back about 30 years ago, this first chart, that's more or less what the immune factors was. We, of course, didn't have the protected B12 at that time, but it was a B complex. It was a high-potency B complex with high levels of vitamin C. It's only been in the last couple of decades that the research on the botanicals was validated, and also that standardized extracts of those botanicals became available. So as you can see, we have 400 milligrams of very complex standardizations, 50% purpurea and 50% angustifolia, 4% total phenols and 4% echinacosides. So it's a very complex standardization. Golden seal, 5% alkaloids, a proprietary organic mushroom blend, including shiitake, reishi, and maitake mushrooms, 23% polysaccharides. Mushrooms are really healthy to eat, by the way. Astragalus, 16% polysaccharides. Each of these ingredients has a long list of research that actually I have research quotes with me. Maybe we'll have time to get to them. But I don't know of an immune product that's better supported by the science, more comprehensive, and of course, if you're going to get an immune product with all these wonderful, delicate, fragile ingredients in it, then it's going to be compressed into a tablet. That's kind of crazy. A tablet that's hard to swallow, a tablet that upsets your stomach. So what we have here, again, is a wonderful, natural, ultrafine powder, going to be dissolve instantly, be readily absorbed, and just gives you the benefits of all these wonderful natural ingredients. The benefits of the vitamin C and B complex, which that's the nutritional foundation that we all need to start with. And then, of course, in addition, the botanicals that we've all heard about or read about, echinacea, golden seal at their perfect balance and perfect standardization. In addition, mushroom complex. In addition, astragalus. These are the ingredients that are the most important ingredients for immune support. Vitamin D is as well, but vitamin D is something that all of us should be taking separately at significant levels to make sure that overall, for all the systems in our body, that we have our proper levels of vitamin D, which is probably going to be between 2,000 IU and 4,000 or 5,000 IU daily. Every day. And
you know, I was just thinking that Andrew is so right. I mean, the essence of what this is all about is that you have the opportunity to give yourself the important support that you need, particularly this time of year. I mean, let's face it, look what the weather has been. The weather has been absolutely insane, literally around the country, and we all know what happens to us with that. So you have today huge values. I grabbed the 360 because to save $35 on the 360, to know that you have the opportunity to get it home or to get any one of the different sizes home, and I think the most limited is the 360 at this point. You have a full 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. So, because, you know, a lot of people out there do find, you know, like for most of the year, we're okay, we can deal with a lot of things, but if the stress of the holidays, if the environmental changes, or if you just find like your immune system isn't what it used to be, here you have the chance to be able to have incredible, natural, all-natural support. 4.8 stars again at hsn.com, and I know it's been great for us to be able to share with you the science and to share with you some of the reviews, but you can always do that, and we encourage you to do that on your own. Free shipping and handling also on every supplement. As we said, Andrew's only here 4 times a year. In this show, you requested the show. I happen to absolutely love this show because you do have the chance to pick up a lot of the supplements that you're not going to see, and we don't have the chance to offer you.
This show's difficult for me because each one of the products in this show, whether it's astaxanthin or immune factors or vitamin D or calcium, magnesium, I could spend 2 hours talking about it. Yeah, and if you see me out, you'll notice that if someone stops me out at the store or something like that, they'll get me talking for 2 hours. Because each of these products has so much science, so much research, and again, what's exciting about these ingredients aren't the ridiculous claims that other companies might make for ingredients like these, but the simple, straightforward science and the simple, straightforward role they play. Our immune system can only work as well as we support it. Like any system in our body, that system requires support, requires help, and that support and assistance comes from how we live and what we consume. There's just no escaping that fact. We don't live in a vacuum. The systems are basically, this is going to sound bad, the systems in our body are basically the victims of what we do and the victims of what we give them. And generally I say the victims because we generally don't quite give them what they need. And we generally do things, myself included. I do things that are a little self-destructive, but not in a major way. But, you know, I sometimes eat less than ideal things, especially this time of year, especially toward the end of last year. It's the holidays. So we often tend to make compromises and things. And the things we do, the things we eat, all can undermine the health of our immune system, the best functioning of our immune system. What this product is designed to do is just the opposite, to give our body the things that have been recognized and acknowledged in the research by the science as playing a supportive role, so our immune system, which is the only tool we have to deal with the outside world, that immune system, we want it to function at its very best, especially this time of year when there's the greatest amount of assaults on that immune system. And just some charts and some reviews here. Great immunity boost. I've been searching for such a comprehensive immunity supporting product for a long time. A long time now. I take this product combined with the Friendly Flora, and I feel my immunity is actually stronger as a result. Friendly Flora, critically important for our immune system as well, because those Friendly Flora crowd out the unfriendly things. So they basically act as a barrier as well. And I feel my immunity is actually stronger as a result. I love that it is made of high-quality ingredients. It is easy to swallow and gentle on the stomach. Also, I really like the fact that Andrew follows the latest research and changes his formula as the latest reliable, unbiased scientific research dictates, which we've done right now with the mushroom complex. We've improved the standardization and content of the mushroom complex. Keep up the good work, Andrew. Health Saver. This product has literally kept me healthy all winter, even when those around me weren't. What a godsend. Thank you for this amazing product. P.S. I take another 9 of your products, all with the same great results. And again, this product doesn't keep you healthy. Your immune system keeps you healthy. And this product is just one of many tools we should engage to let our immune system do its work on our behalf. Last one, never again. About a month and a half ago, I purchased my first bottle of Immune Factors, and I used the whole bottle. I soon realized how great of a product this really is when I didn't have any more left. I've learned my lesson. I will never, ever run out of these again, especially since I have to work with the public at my new job. Love, love, love Immune Factors from Laura in, I guess that's Michigan.
So help your body help itself. And again, we're going to continue to take all of the calls that are coming through. And we have only, about 15 minutes or so remaining in our variety show.